This is Game Night Live. WJBF Sports presents local high school football live in your living room each Friday night. Game Night Live is powered by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And now, your hosts, Ashley Brown and John Hart.
ARC Stadium on the historic campus of the Academy of Richmond County off of Walton Way, not too far from beautiful downtown Augusta. It is week 3 of Game Night Live here on WJBF. Tonight, another border battle as the Aiken Fighting Hornets cross the Savannah River to take on the Academy of Richmond County Musketeers. Hi once again, everybody. John Hart once again alongside Ashley Brown. Welcome into another week of Game Night Live. And AB, when we talk about these two teams, both of them with new coaches this year, but so far this season at least, trending in the opposite directions.
Yeah, Aiken's 0-2 on the season, but keep in mind, they've played some tough opponents. They, losing in that first game to White Knoll. White Knoll beat South Aiken, and we saw how good South Aiken is. And then they lost to Strom Thurmond. So we'll see tonight how good Aiken really is, a little better measuring stick maybe. And for ARC, Lyle Burns takes over the program right before the start of the season, and boy, did they play well in their opening game. Now, they did play Westside, a team that's really down, but they looked awesome on offense. Mason Cobb threw for a couple of touchdowns. They've got some playmakers. I think we got ourselves a good matchup tonight between these two.
Should be a good one, and it should be for the second straight week we have a border battle as Aiken Hornets are crossing over to take on Richmond Academy. We are almost set for the Hornets to take the field and the Musketeers, and then we will have our coin toss. And before we do that, let's get you to your Ford keys of the game, AB.
That's right. Tonight, taking a look at the keys first for Aiken. They've got to get pressure on Cobb. He had a big game last week. He was 11 of 13. He was kind of able to freewheel it back there, not a lot of pressure on him. They need to force him out of the pocket. And they also need to control the line of scrimmage, and in doing so, keep some of the playmakers on that Richmond offense off the field. For Richmond Academy, if you're looking at the keys there, get the ball to those athletes. Clydell White, D.T. Stevens, those are some guys they've got that can really move. And then also establish the run with Malik Knowles. He's coming off a big game, 160 yards against Westside. They need to set up the pass with that running game to open up those deep plays for those receivers.
And one of the things that the new coach here, Lyle Burns, for Richmond Academy has talked about is picking up the tempo both at practice and hoping that transfers over into the games.
Yeah, we were talking about this. I said this during the coaches and captains dinner that we had preseason. Coaches make such a difference at the high school level, and I think Lyle Burns is evidence of that. He took over this program, and nothing bad against the other coaches. He took over like a month before the season started, and he really has kind of changed not only the way the team's playing, but the confidence, the support of the program, and everybody's excited. Now, this is, again, we talk about measuring sticks. This is a big step up in competition tonight. Westside is really down. They rolled against them in week 1. This is going to be a stiffer test, no doubt, against Aiken. But the team's got a lot of confidence, I think, coming into tonight based on they've got some structure. They've got a coach who's got them fired up about their season.
And it's been a tumultuous few years here at Richmond Academy. Some of these seniors playing for their third coach in 4 years. But Lyle Burns, no stranger to the area. He was the offensive coordinator at Westside and Grovetown and has been around the Augusta area for many years.
Absolutely. Married someone from Augusta, and they were happy to get back into this area. He had gone away for a few years coaching at Elbert County. But, look, he knows the game. He knows this area very well. And like I said, he's sort of a disciplinarian, and I think the kids are kind of thriving on that, really.
Time for the coin toss. Let's take it down to the third member of our broadcast team, Matt Lane, with our first Augusta Auto Auction sideline report.
All right, great night for football. Congratulations on being captains, okay? Aiken, you are the visiting team, so you will have the option on the coin toss. I do have a GHSA coin. GHSA will be my heads. The flags will be my tails. Please call it in the air so my umpire can hear you. If I drop the coin, we'll flip it again, okay? It is a tails. What's your choice? Want to receive. Which way you want to kick?
I want to kick this way.
You want to kick this way? All right, y'all turn. Let's pivot. All right. Aiken won the toss. All right, we're going to be kicking this way. Y'all shake hands for us. Come out with your kicking ball.
So Richmond Academy will be kicking off to start the game here tonight. It is a breezy night here at ARC Stadium. You can probably hear that in our microphones. We'll talk a little bit more about the weather as the Hornets take the field. We'll come back with kickoff right after this on Game Night Live. back live at ARC Stadium, week 3 of Game Night Live. We're almost ready for kickoff between the Aiken Hornets and the ARC Musketeers. It is a breezy night here, but a very comfortable night for football. Very low humidity, and AB, once again, we appear to have gotten pretty fortunate with the weather.
Well, we did, and we're renewing a rivalry tonight, John. They haven't played in 45 years.
1975, the last time these two teams hooked up. They were supposed to play last year, but the game was canceled due to Hurricane Hermine, and we're going to have to do the opening kickoff over again as flags fly.
Yeah, Richmond has kind of owned the series, but they played back in the 50s and 60s when Richmond was one of the dominant programs, really not just in the state and all the Southeast. They were one of the biggest schools. Kids from anywhere nearby in the CSRA came to ARC. So if you grew up anywhere in the vicinity of Augusta on the Georgia side of things, you pretty much went to Richmond Academy, and they had great programs, baseball, football, you name it. And Aiken has got a pretty good history themselves. They've produced some great players over the years and had some good teams. They hit some hard times and really have turned it around the last few years. This year they're off to a tough start, but again, against two quality opponents.
13-1 to be exact, the Musketeers in this series. But again, these two teams have not met since 1975. So let's try it again. And the kick is away, and it is taken at the 30, or make the 20-yard line. Up to the 30, a little bit of room, and the Hornets will set up shop at about, well, late thrust there to about the 41-yard line.
And on the return there for the Aiken Hornets, it was number 11 taking that kickback. That's DeAndre Bynum. There's a good look at Bynum trotting off the field. Our first chance to see the Aiken Hornets. And we'll take a look at the offense there. And again, their receivers, Bynum, Hazel, and McKay, and Porter, they're going to try to get the ball to them. They'll spread it out and run that spread offense that's become so prevalent. That's certainly what they like to do.
And we'll talk about the line here in just a second. But first, Hornets 1st and 10 from their own 42. And the give will be to Jeremiah Green, and he has room around the left side, fighting across midfield and into Musketeer territory, and a first down all the way down to the 38-yard line.
Man, he made a great cut, John, right at the line of scrimmage that kind of got him to the outside, and Green, a 5'9", 195-pound senior. Watch this cut right there. He saw a little hole to the outside and got there. Great run by Green. And I said senior, he's actually a junior checking in for Aiken.
So it'll be 1st and 10 Hornets from the Musketeer 38-yard line.
Corey Wallace is the junior quarterback. He wears number 8.
And this is Alex Thomas straight through the gut and close to another first down and down around the 30-yard line.
Well, we showed you their starters. We probably should have mentioned that line because so far they're dominating things the first couple of plays. The center is Miles Duger. They've got Phil Collins and Kobe Quiller on the left side, and on the right side, Eric Stroman and DeMaurice Ginyard. And right now, the first couple of plays, they have manhandled things up front against ARC.
Phil Collins on the line for Aiken. Probably hoping the Hornets can pull out a win against all odds here tonight.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm sure their fans can feel it coming in the air tonight.
I knew that was coming.
It's the only Phil Collins song I know. I'm stuck.
Not a lot of room up the middle here.
Man. How do you work that one in?
Isaiah Dorsey on the stop for Richmond Academy. So that'll bring up 3rd and about 2 for the Hornets.
Some great football has been played here, not just by Richmond. For a long time, this stadium was shared by several high schools in the area, West Side, Richmond among them. And a few years back, a lot of the schools got their own stadiums, Glen Hills and West Side among the schools that did.
The give is to Thomas, and he will be close. From up here, it looks like he has it, but they might want to bring the chains out and look at this one. Nope. Well, they're flipping it first down. Never mind.
Aiken doing exactly what we said. Eat that clock up, run the football, and in the keys of the game, they're looking pretty good. On defense for ARC, keep an eye on the back side of this defense. There's linebackers and secondary. They've got some athletes on this team, and one of the best athletes on the field is a kid who's known more for basketball than football, and that's D.T. Stevens in the secondary.
This is Green again, and nowhere. Well, on second effort, trying to make something out of nothing, and just too many black shirts. And they're going to push him all the way back to the 42-yard line.
Well, the guy who originally made the play was Mondarius Taylor. There he is, number 1. Taylor came up and made a great play. Wasn't able to hold on to him, but he certainly stuffed things. And you'll see his closing speed on this play, pretty impressive.
There's your Richmond Academy starting defense. Chris Darlington and Cameron Hughes, the linebackers.
Yeah, and D.T. Stevens, like I said, he's one of the best athletes on the field.
Clydell White, not too bad himself. He had a big week last week on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, loss of 13 on that play.
So now it'll be second and a whole bunch, and that'll get a big chunk of it back.
Well, the tackle was more of like he kind of just let the running back kind of run him over, but hey, he brought him down.
It was Thomas on the carry again.
Yeah, both running backs, Green and Thomas, have looked very good tonight for Aiken.
And that is one of the things J.W. Montgomery, the new Aiken head coach, said all week, is they want to try to establish the run, as you said in your keys to the game, AB, and try to keep this Richmond Academy offense off the field.
Yeah, Richmond showed some big play capabilities last week against Westside, and no matter the opponent, a coach sees that on film, and he's certainly going to try to stop it.
Third and long, and that is intercepted by Mondarius Taylor, and he's got room across midfield and shoved out at the 44-yard line of Aiken.
Well, right on cue, we said their secondary full of athletes, and that was a super athletic play. The ball tipped. You work on that tip drill all year in practice, and it finally pays off occasionally, and that time it did for Richmond. Taylor with a couple of nice plays already in this game.
Ball thrown a little bit high.
Taylor showing some speed as well once he got the football. Now we'll see the Richmond offense come onto the field.
So here is that Richmond Academy offense that put up 41 yards. Put up a lot more than that. 41 points last week against Westside. They'll start out of the I.
Well, Mason Cobb, the diminutive quarterback, not big in stature, but had a huge game last week. 11 of 13, 195 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air.
And they immediately go to Malik Knowles, who had 162 yards on the ground last week for the Musketeers. He'll pick up about 5 here.
Yeah, Knowles, like I said, both those guys in the backfield, not going to beat you, run over you or anything, but they both put up huge games last week.
Again, Knowles the lone back, and again he gets the carry, and that's going to be good for a first down and a little bit more up to about the 30-yard line.
Well, good hard running by Knowles. The offensive line gave him a little bit of a seam, and then he did not let the first defender take him down. He was able to fight forward and get that first down. There's a look at the Richmond offense led by quarterback junior Mason Cobb. You mentioned Clydell White. He had a huge game last week, over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Up front, Donovan Ramsey, the big left tackle.
White is the favorite target through the air for Mason Cobb, but so far the Musketeers have kept it on the ground. And this time it's not Cobb. It is Clydell White to the direct snap around right end. He'll pick up a first down inside the 20, down to about the 19-yard line.
Well, we are in the red zone, and Clydell White, interestingly enough, he was the quarterback on this team last year, so he's very familiar with being back there. That play's going to come back like our Augusta Technical College red zone. They were in there briefly, but now they're back out after the penalty. But, yeah, White was the quarterback last year, so this is a familiar spot for him. He's very comfortable back there. With the Cobb, last year just a sophomore, not getting a chance to start, but this year as a junior, he's emerged as a starter. Like I said, very efficient last week, only 2 incompletions all game.
193 yards throwing for Cobb a week ago. So they'll step the penalty off to the 40-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 20. And this is Cobb on the keeper. He'll get about 6 of them back to about the 34-yard line.
Yeah, in there for Aiken on the tackle, number 10, Talik Jones. Also, number 56 was in there as well. That's Kobe Quiller. Quiller, 6'4", 230. Good-looking defensive lineman. So both teams have been effective moving the football with the run.
And they'll go to the run again, and this time, nothing.
Yeah, just as I say that, the Aiken defense steps up. Number 48 stepping in and making the play that time. That's Deslin Wilson.
With some help from Robert Ownby.
There have been some good number 48s over the years for Aiken. Marcus Simpkins stands out as one. Outstanding player for the Hornets years ago.
Last week we were in Lincolnton and we talked about how there's always a Norman on the team there. It seems like there's always a Simpkins in Aiken.
Simpkins, Stroman, there's a few. Yeah, well, there's a Stroman tonight, Eric Stroman.
Yep. So 3rd and about 13, and I think Richmond Academy wants to talk about it, and they will. So they'll take time out on the field. We will take it with them with 6:08 to play here in the opening quarter. Still scoreless at ARC on Game Night Live. Back live at ARC Stadium. The Napleton Infinity of Augusta timeout is over, and ARC will face 3rd and about 14 from the Aiken 36-yard line. Make it the Aiken 32-yard line. To throw, it's Cobb. It is batted down. He was looking for Clydell White, his favorite target, but back there deep to receive for Aiken, or to defend for Aiken, I should say, was C.J. Hazel, and he played it well.
Yeah, it's certainly thrown into coverage, and sometimes, the coaches don't mind you letting your receiver try to make a play, but that time, unfortunately, thrown right. I mean, Hazel was perfectly positioned to stop that.
It was actually Justin Pickett on the intended receiver for ARC. So the Musketeers will punt as the drive stalls. And a fair catch will be called for by Jarvis Jones. And the Hornets will take back over. Still scoreless. 5:53 now to play.
Tonight's field goals and extra points are brought to you by Georgia Military College. Georgia Military College offers Georgia high school students the opportunity to get ahead. The Move On When Ready program lets students take college courses that count towards both high school and college graduation. The state of Georgia pays up to 12 credit hours. Call admissions or ask your high school guidance counselor for more information. Again, the Georgia Military College kicks for college.
So the Musketeers, or the Hornets, I should say, will set up shop at their own 9-yard line, and they will give it to Green again, and again, not a whole lot of room over there as ARC able to get to the corner.
Yeah, it's like two boxers. It's kind of filling each other out a little bit. Both teams moved the football on their first drive, but both of them had their drive stall, in Aiken's case, on a turnover.
Israel Dorsey on the stop for leading the charge, at least for the Musketeers.
Great shot there. They got the field looking great here at ARC tonight.
This time it is Thomas, and he is stopped about 3 or 4 yards shy.
Yeah, nice play in there by ARC. Big number 62 on the tackle. That's Justin Thomas.
And he's a name I think we'll call a lot tonight because he plays both ways for this team.
Yeah, we mentioned kind of a new attitude. They got a new football coach, a new principal. Good friend of mine, Scott McClintock, was named the principal here in the during the summer. And like I said, the field's looking great. Just some renewed interest and excitement in the team, it seems.
Hornets needed 4, but Green's not going to get anything. He might have lost a yard or two.
Kellen Weathers, number 75, was in there. Also number 44 for Richmond Academy as well. 44 is Isaiah Dorsey, who we've called a couple of times already tonight.
So be careful here if you are Aiken, as Austin McKay will kick from, well, inside his 5-yard line. Either way, the Musketeers are going to have great field position. Back deep to receive for Richmond Academy is Clydell White.
Yeah, White, a terrific athlete. We mentioned the big game last week with over 100 yards receiving on just 5 catches. Averaged over 21 yards a catch last week.
And the kick is, I believe, partially blocked.
What an effort.
Rolls dead at the 30-yard line.
I think it may have went off the side of his foot.
Let's take a look.
Let's look at that. I tell you, great effort right there. Was it 37 for Richmond?
That's Dorsey again.
Great effort by him to try and block the kick. But he got blocked as he went in the air, and I don't think he got it. I think it might have went off the side of the foot of the punter, McKay. But either way, that is great news if you're a Richmond fan, because they have the ball just inside the 30-yard line. Tip of the football right on the 30.
Cobb, the quarterback, going to give to Knowles. Knowles has the left side. Great block in front of him. He's going to pick up about 18, 19 yards and take it down to about the 10-yard line of Aiken.
Yeah, David Wyadman, Matt Lane right down there and said in our ear, great block by 23. And boy, as a coach, you almost love nothing more when those receivers and guys on the edge are throwing blocks for you. 23 did that to kind of spring his back there.
Look at that move right there.
So Knowles coming off a big game against Westside, 162 yards on the ground. Now Cobb's going to throw it.
This is Cobb looking, throwing, and overthrowing Clydell White, who was breaking wide open in the end zone.
Yeah, White was open, but that's one of those plays. The play was busted a little bit, and you kind of have to be on the same page. This is game 2. Maybe they aren't quite there yet. That one overthrown. He had White open. You see on the instant replay. White was thinking he had TD catch number 3 on the season there.
And 2 of them last week. So 2nd and goal. This time the snap will go direct to White. He'll take it down to the 5, inside the 5, down toward the goal line, and just short.
Well, I tell you, Clydell White had a blocker ahead, looked like he was going to get in for sure.
And again, they're going to line White up as the quarterback with Knowles, the running back, next to him. White will keep again, and this time White is in for the touchdown. Richmond Academy.
Yeah, Richmond Academy's offense looking good early in 2017. And again, our GMC Kicks for College, all of our kicks, whether it's an extra point or field goal, brought to you by GMC, Georgia Military College.
And Judson Pickett will be the man to try the extra point for Richmond Academy. Both of these schools usually have very good kickers because they both have very good soccer
I
programs.
feel obligated to say, let's see if he can pick it clean.
And indeed he did. It is good, and Richmond Academy leads it 7-0 with 2:46 to play in the opening quarter here at ARC Stadium. We will take a timeout on Game Night Live.
This
7-0, ARC leads Aiken as we near the end of the first quarter of play here on Walton Way. It'll be Pickett. Don't you say anything, AB.
I'm not.
To kick it away. Pickett to kick it away for Richmond Academy. And again to receive, it'll be Green, who's going to have to wait for it to stop rolling. Here he comes. Made one man miss, then another. He's got the sideline and all the way up to the 45-yard line. Flag down near the end of the play.
I'll tell you, Israel Dorsey is an athlete. He comes over and makes the play after a couple guys missed. The Aiken coaches, though, know what's coming back. You can see the frustration there.
Got a block in the back.
Well, we have a second. Let's head down to the field. Third member of our broadcast crew, Matt Lane, with our second, I should say, Augusta Auto Auction sideline report. Matt, what do you got?
Thank you, John. Yeah, as you saw on ARC's touchdown drive right there, it seemed like they used a little bit of that momentum from that bad punt from Aiken and kind of shoved it in the end zone. They looked good in their earlier drive, but just not able to connect on the pass and things not really going their way. In their huddle, when they actually called the play on that pass play that was incomplete, there's not a lot of rah-rah. They just called the play and run it. So I feel like they really expect to be able to score on Aiken tonight. Back to you, John.
All right, Matt. Richmond Academy has a man down around the 30-yard line. I'm shielded by the trainer, so I don't know what number that is, but they're tending to him.
Well, while they do that, we can say a couple of teams got their games in last night around the area, and the Evans Knights looked awfully good as their new quarterback, Demekus Taylor, ran for 3 scores and threw for 3 more as they beat Laney 48-7. And boy, Harlem looks outstanding in the early going this year. They beat Warren County 48-16. A.J. Brown, their talented running back, transferred over from Grovetown. He had over 250 yards last night. On the season, John, in 2 games, A.J. Brown, the transfer to Harlem, 23 carries, 438 yards, and 6 touchdowns, averaging 19 yards a carry.
And we will see those Bulldogs later this season here on Game Night Live.
That's right. They take on Glen Hills in a couple of weeks. We've also got some scores from around the area tonight, and boy, South Aiken taking out their frustrations on that loss to White Knoll on Swansea tonight. It's 41-zip in the third quarter.
It's Green to start the drive for Aiken, and he keeps his feet going. They're going to end up with about 6 or 7 yards on that. Good second effort. It was Mondarius Taylor who was the man down for Richmond Academy, and he is one of their big playmakers. The good news for the Musketeers is, although he was down for a good while, he is walking around under his own power and looks like he's feeling just fine on the sidelines.
I was just about to say, and Matt Lane's now telling us in our ear that it's probably that a cramp. Early in the season you see that. And he dove trying to get the ball carrier on that return and kind of flex that calf, and that probably caused it to lock up.
This is Nick White on the keeper. Nope, got the number wrong. It is actually Corey Wallace. It was the quarterback. It looked like 6 the way he was turned this way. But it was just Wallace, who carries the ball quite a lot for Aiken.
They try to spread you out with the receivers and then run the football. And they sort of, similar to what Richmond does on offense this year as well. But in Aiken's case, they don't throw it quite as much as Richmond will.
Green and Kevin Staley split wide for Aiken, and they go to Green in and out of his hands. And that's going to bring up 4th down.
The Richmond defense on the first drive were getting blown off the ball, but since then, they've done a pretty good job of stopping what Aiken's trying to do offensively.
And once again, the Musketeers are going to come out of this with pretty good field position.
Clydell White is back deep again, and certainly one of the playmakers for the Musketeers.
And again, he had a big week last week, 5 catches for 109 yards and 2 scores. Fair catch, so White won't get a chance to return, and it takes a great Aiken bounce all the way down to the 22-yard line.
And it was a different punter, I'm being told, by Nathan Edwards, our spotter.
And that is Trustin Ingram, a 5'10 junior. And
109 left to go in the first 2.
And Matt's telling us they can either one go out there to punt. That time, he took so long getting the punt off, it actually helped his coverage. They were all down there and surrounded the return man. There was no way that White was going to take a chance going up and catching that football and all that traffic.
So here come the Musketeers, already leading 7-0 with 1:09 play here in the first quarter. And it's going to be Knowles, and Knowles pushes ahead. He's got a first down. He's got more up across the 40-yard line up to about the 41. That's going to be about a 19-yard run.
I'd say I really liked Knowles. Last week I sort of harped on how good Mason Cobb played and talked about Clydell White, and maybe didn't give Knowles as much attention as he deserved. I really like how hard this guy runs.
162 yards last week in their win over West Side, and if he keeps this up, he might eclipse that mark tonight. 3 wide. Oh, what a play by Knowles. Heads up, and look at this. He will make something out of nothing and end up with about 3 yards to the 43-yard line on what could have been a disastrous play for ARC.
Yeah, that was something out of what could have been worse than nothing. I mean,
what do they say about chicken salad?
Yeah, exactly. And Knowles, hey, we've seen 2 balls go up in the air like that, and both times ARC athletes have made plays. On defense, the interception we saw earlier in the game by Taylor, and now it was the nice Johnny-on-the-spot catch by the running back Knowles.
He'll get it again. He'll have a first down again. And before he's finally wrestled down on the sideline, give him another 13 yards across midfield. Musketeers into Hornet territory.
The ARC's offense, again, they've got weapons. There's no doubt about it. Game Night Live is presented each week by McDonald's. Now at McDonald's, you can create your own sandwich with McDonald's new signature crafted recipes like the bold new signature sriracha made with spicy sriracha mac sauce, crispy onions, and a mix of fresh baby spinach and kale. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
And as if on cue, the first quarter of play comes to an end at ARC with your score. The ARC Musketeers 7, the Aiken Hornets 0. Timeout for these words on Game Night Live.